You going? Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Vanflip podcast. If you are not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're notified for new updates, new videos, new interviews, all that good stuff. And that's it. Oh, wait, nope. I also want to shout out our Patreon supporters, Lachlan and Dylan. Thanks for supporting the podcast. If you'd like to be a Patreon supporter and get a shout out, the link is in the description. All right, we're back on the blah, blah, blah. Oh.
Sick.
Yeah, that's how we started off usually. All right, we're back to the podcast. I'm sitting here with Adam and Mike of the band Orthodox from Memphis, Tennessee.
That's
How are you guys doing? Fuck, we just talked about it. Nashville. Damn. I got Memphis on the brain, I guess. I don't know. This is Tennessee in general. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
There's always something, dude.
Yeah.
There's always something. So, you guys are technically, but untechnically, a relatively newer band, but you've been playing music for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So what were you guys doing prior to Orthodox, or prior to what Orthodox became?
I mean, I started Orthodox my senior year of high school. So, musically, this was like the first real thing I had. Outside of that, the only real credible band that I was in around that time, I used to play drums in a band called Daisy Head, but that was about it, really. I didn't have anything else beforehand worth mentioning. Just a bunch of, shitty Christian deathcore bands and bad local hardcore bands. So
Christian deathcore is an interesting subgenre.
Southeast, man. Nashville,
I know.
Tennessee had it. Oh, man.
Christian music is definitely different than it was when I was a kid. It was like DC Talk and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I vaguely ventured down that avenue as a youngster. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But then you have other bands like, big bands like August Burns Red is also clearly a Christian band. Oh, yeah. But like we have a band, the Impending Doom, coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming. So we're going to try to get them on as well. Spoiler.
But
anyway.
I would still mosh to an Impending Doom set to this day.
It's really going to be it's going to be at like this venue that's mostly Christian artists or whatever, and I've been there before. I saw like Norma Jean way back in the day there.
Oh, yeah.
I think before Corey joined the band, but after Josh, so it was like one of the intermediate singers, but that was a cool little time. Haste the Day was there too. Anyway, moving on.
That was my first heavy show.
Yeah?
Haste the Day.
Is that like one of your influences that you have? Or
No. But it's just first heavy show I went to was like 2007, I think, or so. It was Haste the Day, Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, Drop Dead Gorgeous.
That's his. He's all about that.
Gwen Stacy, and
he's all about it.
You said
my
not
bad.
to tap
I know,
the
my
table.
bad. My bad. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit. There's like the tables there.
But them, and then a band called As Hell Retreats was the opener, and they were a local band at the time, and that was like the first band that ever took me on the road. So
was that like your first forte into like heavy music, just that show, or were you listening to things?
I was listening. I just never went, and then that show came around, and Mom let me go.
Yeah,
because it was Christian bands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mom,
Christian, I swear.
Mom has to be you have to be approved to go.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want you thinking this is going to be something you do all the time, and now here I am on a fucking Lambgoat podcast.
Yes, doing it all the time. So what do you guys do in the band?
I'm the singer.
Adam?
This is Adam.
Yep. Mike, drums.
Mike is the drummer. And what were you doing prior to Orthodox? And were you, because like we said earlier, you were like 2012, 2013, you kind of started doing the music venture. Were you along for that entire time, or did you come around later?
No, so the band is based out of Nashville, but I'm from Ohio. So I've been in several different bands from Ohio, and I've toured. I don't remember how we met.
I think it was when Expire was doing that house show tour.
Oh, I was in a band.
Oh, no, we met in Columbus.
Okay, Orthodox probably played a venue in Columbus.
I think it was Double Happiness.
Double Happiness, and either one of my bands played or we
were in like
went.
12.
Excuse me.
In the band at the time, it was a band called Head Rush. We were on tour going to some venue, not in Nashville, but Expire was doing the house show. And we stopped. They were playing, and we walked in, and you gave us a shout out.
I saw you guys walk in.
Yeah,
like, oh,
and all of us
Head
like
Rush.
moshed for a second. People were like, who the fuck? Who are these weirdos? Like, I've never seen these people in my life. And then
you left and went to a really bad show in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Almost got into a fight with somebody at that show. Later down the road, get a call. Or, no, an IG DM. I'm pretty sure.
Slid the DM?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And it was just asking me to fill in for a tour. It was the
Blessed by the Burn tour.
Blessed by the Burn tour for Left Behind and
Mercy Blow.
Mercy Blow opened.
Cool.
And that was that.
I get Left Behind and Let Them Suffer mixed up. Left Behind, are they from Georgia?
They're from West Virginia.
Okay.
West Virginia.
Thinking, I get, there's a bunch of those, all the bands that have
L
similar
bands.
names, yeah.
Right. So that was, yeah. I've been touring for a little while, and then we kind of just linked up for... What year was that?
Let's say how long?
2017.
17.
No. Oh, yeah, 2017. End of 2017.
Okay.
When you kind of officially joined the fold? Was that before or after?
Well, that
the,
was
That
when
was
I
his
joined.
first tour, yeah.
When
And
I
then
joined was...
the
I
following
think,
summer.
a week before
We did another
the
run.
headline
Yeah.
tour. You're like, hey, do you just want to do this? And I was like, yeah, all right.
So do you
good.
currently travel to and fro?
Mm-hmm.
From Ohio?
Mm.
How does that work?
I mean, we don't really get together unless we're going on a tour. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a 6-hour commute.
Does it affect the writing and recording process for that kind of stuff? Or
Not
do you
really
do
the
like a lot
recording
of...
process, but I don't have, on this last release, I didn't have a lot of hand in like actually playing. Like he's a drummer,
Okay.
so that's easy.
Okay.
So
So is a lot of it kind of already pre-constructed before you get in the studio, or is it like something that maybe where like there's like a rough demo of like guitars and vocals, and you may like have a idea of what the drums may sound like?
we do pre-production stuff with our good friend Daniel Colombo, and I write the basic drum parts, like what would usually just like the idea of what would be played in a certain thing, and then leave some of it open for him to put his own taste. And then sometimes, since I don't have to actually play it, I put things that are just kind of mean to put in there, and he just has to deal with it.
Yeah.
And he deals with it though, so
It's like guitar players writing on guitar tab stuff they can't really play or stuff someone else couldn't play and be like, here you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys just dropped a new record January sometime?
February
January?
February 7th.
Okay, so early February.
been
Yeah. Almost a month.
3 weeks today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to check that out, never mind, that playlist isn't public, but it's on my personal playlist. I'm making a playlist for like top albums of the year.
Oh,
So
damn.
you guys have made
You
the
made
cut
it.
at least, not for the end result, but you're in there in the running
the
at
running.
least.
yeah,
Got a long way to
got in
go.
early.
It's a long race.
Yeah, it probably is going to be helpful for you guys too, because I'll listen to it a lot more.
There we
You
go.
know?
So
Maybe we'll get sick of it by the end of the year, and we're just
that's
off the
true
list.
too. That is true too. Then I was like, delete. But
Yeah.
yeah, we definitely. Well, we had you guys in the new album playlist. We do a new album playlist every Friday. It's like today we've uploaded all the new ones, and so you guys were on that one too. Yeah, but I definitely been checking it out, and man, I was talking to somebody on Twitter about you guys, one of my followers or just one of the Lambgoat followers or whatever. But I was like, yeah, man, they sound like such and such, and I was trying to figure out what I said. I even almost like tried to search for it on Twitter before I got you guys, but I was like, damn.
Probably just said it sounded like shit. It's fine.
No, it's not shit. It wasn't shit, but it was definitely like there's the new kind of like style of metalcore, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's so different than when I was.
Oh, it's
You know what I mean?
funny being like, oh, they're a metalcore band, or they're a metalcore band.
Right.
It's like
See, I don't know.
two different
It's like,
worlds.
what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, no, they're like this metalcore, not this metalcore. Yeah, it's annoying.
The term is completely lost. I mean, when someone says it's metalcore, like I know right off the bat it's not. At this point,
Yeah.
it's not. Especially on Twitter, like they love to just say metalcore for anything. Anything that has like singing in it, I kind of consider like a post metalcore.
I don't even know what the post part means. If I call bands that, but I don't know what it means.
I would
Like,
assume it means like singing.
yeah?
Like
Why is it called post?
Well, because post-hard is after hardcore,
Okay.
after metalcore, right?
I mean, yeah,
Isn't
that's
that what it's
simple
supposed
enough.
to mean?
Yeah.
Then would pre just be punk, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then yeah, like punk
we're on the same
music,
page,
and then
yeah.
hardcore.
It's all rock and roll.
Yeah, that's
So
I just
hardcore and
I
metal,
straight up
fuck 'em.
when people ask what we
Doesn't
are, I'm like, we're a metal band because that's what we listen to and it's what it
okay.
all draws back to. So
What would you say you sound like? Not
When-
genre wise, but like
So when somebody asks me,
yeah, like if you had like three bands, you sound
what
like
band
this.
are you in? We sound like Slipknot. Everybody knows who that damn band is.
yeah.
It's like, and you can take influence. You listen to it and it's like, okay, yeah, that riff for that part is like super Slipknot or Korn or whatever. But that's just the easy answer for me.
Yeah, I say Slipknot, System of a Down, and Gojira. So
Interesting. That's weird you say that, because I definitely get like, and again, not derogatory in any way, fellas, but I get like a nu metal kind of vibe.
Yeah,
which is cool because I grew up on that shit too.
That's what I grew up on.
That's what we're pulling from.
I call it Nu-Metalcore. I think the internet calls it Nu-Metalcore too.
Yeah.
I was afraid to say it on the microphone, but sure.
That's not a bad thing. I'm actually here for that whole revival, because a lot of bands are like that, like Loathe. I mean, these are all albums that came out when you guys...
We literally put the record out the same day as Loathe. Our record's called
day.
Let It Take Its Course. Theirs is called I Let It In and It Took Everything. And
Yeah.
I had no idea of it coming out. And then it came out and I was like, dang, we almost said the same thing.
Yeah.
And theirs is...
y'all don't sound the same,
no.
but you both are definitely like Nu-Metalcore.
It's the same
It's kind of
vein.
opposite ends of the same collective.
Yeah.
But their records sound
I
beautiful.
can't believe I don't know what the fuck I was referring to you guys as, because it was like dead on in my head. And Loathe, I was like deathcore Deftones. That's what it sounds like to me. Like you
can just call us the future. It's cool.
Future, yeah, they are the future of music going forward. No, it definitely has like I said, like a nu metal vibe. And you saying Slipknot and Korn and shit like that, I'm like, yeah, I can totally see that. Your vocals is almost kind of like in the same vein as like Frankie from Immure and shit. So.
I haven't heard that one yet.
The style, the way that you're...
just like the weird going from talk and then it gets intense talk and then it yells and... Yeah.
But also you saying Slipknot, it's also kind of like Corey too.
Yeah, we get King 810 a lot too. Right. Stuff like that. Or, is it 810? Yeah, 810.
Okay.
I thought I
this is your first LP, right?
Second LP.
Second LP?
Yeah.
Okay, so what your first one, was it
it was called Sounds of Loss.
Sounds of Loss, but did you put it out yourself, or was it...
Came out through Unbeaten. This was our second album with them.
Okay. And when did you guys drop that? Was it a full length or an EP?
It was full length in 2017, in May of 2017.
Before you were around?
Correct.
Slightly,
Correct.
half a year beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask, do you have any writing on this? But we already kind of went over that.
No, that one was me and Tyler Williams, who plays bass for Counterparts.
Okay.
Now, he was one of the original touring members of the band, and then Counterparts offered him that position, and I was like, duh.
Yeah, we had Brendan on a couple months ago.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. He's a cool dude. I mean, I'm half Canadian, he's Canadian, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go.
Boner
Bunch
brothers.
of A's.
Yeah. Talking about stuff no one understands. But yeah, that was cool. Another thing I shouldn't say cool or not cool, but another thing that I researched is, and we seem to be having a lot of these types of bands on the podcast recently, but Straight Edge, are you guys still all Straight Edge?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where did that kind of start? Or is that just like something you've done since you were younger, or is it something that you kind of like picked up along the way? Because sometimes people have problems and then they're like, I'm going clean all the way.
Orthodox, I was always sober just from family experiences. Just didn't want to touch the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Orthodox started, and I was like, I want this to be a straight edge band. And Nashville at the time had one other straight edge band called Enough, and so it was kind of like Nashville needs more of this. So we started doing that, and it stuck. And then as the years went on, we were like, yeah, let's just. I mean, there's no point in changing it. It's kind of what we knew. We were still are very proud of it. So it's kind of like, what's the point of redacting it?
Right.
It's just kind of became a part of. I don't want to say it's part of the image, but I would say it's a part of the name almost.
Yeah, and it's a lot less of the old 2 EPs. You know what I mean? And it's not like the super hardcore that Orthodox used to be.
Yeah, when we first started out, we wanted to be a faster foundation, basically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
then
a preachy kind of situation? Or?
No, just musically.
Okay.
Just like it was a lot of really tough riffs with some panic chords mixed in there. Very much like an actual hardcore, like a metallic hardcore band.
Okay, yeah.
And then that was our first release. Second release started to have like a little bit of like nu metal groove elements here and there, but still very much that same basis. And then when we started writing the LP, Tyler and I both were like, dude, we didn't grow up listening to this music. We started writing like a couple of songs, and we were like, man, this is what we want to write. And kind of just made the jump, and it worked out. Mm-hmm. And that's what brought us where we are.
Yeah. I was going to ask, is your lyrical content kind of based within that belief system too, or is it just like a little bit of everything?
It's more so. A lot of the songs we've got are written about experiences that led me to stay the way I am with Straight Edge, but it's not so much the like a blatant straight edge band.
Yeah.
You know, like Inclination has that song that says "I'm still fucking straight edge," and that's probably one of my favorite songs. But we're not as straightforward about it. So
cool. So do you want to get into why you're straight edge?
I mean, it's just simply.
I mean, because we read a couple things online, so that's why. I mean, I kind of have an idea.
There's enough of the stories out there. But I mean, it's literally just. I feel like a lot of people have the similar experience of they grew up watching people they love fall to addiction and decided they didn't want to create the same pain for someone else.
Yeah,
and that was that.
Because I also share. I'm not straight edge. Not that I have anything against it or anything like that. I was at some point before I was 21, like most people in the hardcore scene. But yeah, I mean, I also feel like we kind of have the same somewhat similar experience. A family member of mine also, who is much older than I am. I don't know. Very like, there's a lot of pills being taken and stuff like that. I'm not saying that is negative or a positive thing, because obviously people say they have this and that.
Yeah,
but
well, there's a fine line between necessity and abuse.
I also think older people, as far as like the older generation, don't really understand that. Like, wow, I'm an addict, but I'm still getting this stuff from my doctor. So
yeah,
I think that is just some kind of like mental thing that the older generation has, where they trust everything that the doctors or the news or anything like that is saying. So yeah, I just feel like I've shared the same sentiment, so I don't. Whereas I'm not straight edge, I'm not like doing everything and anything like, like any kind of like over the counter, like even just cough syrup or regular ibuprofen or something like that. I rarely ever take ibuprofen, and I don't really take any pills for the most part. I don't take anything like non-natural for the whole thing. So I smoke weed. You know
yeah,
what I'm
I was about to be like, oh, so what you're saying is
I smoke weed.
You want the smoke?
Yeah, no, and
keeps it organic.
Yeah, I'm very vegan in that aspect.
There you go.
I'm vegan drug user.
Plant-based.
Yeah, I'm plant-based.
Drug user.
But yeah, and even then, I was very late to the game on that. I was like probably your age before I even like dabbled in it. So I lived a long time. I grew up in the dare culture. I was like a youngster in the dare culture, and that really freaked me out. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it did. That was what they were trying to do.
Yeah, but now it's like different. They all want you to take that. You know what I mean? I feel like you're getting pushed a lot. You can see a lot of like commercials, a lot of things that lead down that road, and then you're on OxyContin for like ever. So you know what I mean? It's like a whole situation, man. Anyway, so the name Orthodox, is it kind of involved with those choices, or?
Yeah, kinda. So a lot of people think it has some sort of religious base just because
that's what I
Orthodox Judaism, Christianity, all that kind of stuff.
Started it. Yeah.
It's not that. It's, if you look at the word Orthodox, by definition, without any kind of religious pretext, it simply means a belief that a lot of people claim to know, but few know the true meaning of. And if that's not fucking straight edge, then I don't know what is. So
yeah. Me and JP were talking because we had Sect on. They played with Magnitude down the street from where I live, actually, and we had Chris from Sect on and everything like that. And then when we went to the show, we noticed it was at a bar, for one. So it was like almost a complete straight edge tour package for the most part. I don't know if the openers or local people were in the same avenue, but we noticed that like boom, as soon as the show was done, that place like kind of cleared out because obviously no one's buying any alcohol or anything like that from the bar, so there's no reason for them to stick around. So we were discussing like, is it harder for you guys to get booked in venues that are like roughly bars? I'm not like you guys. I shouldn't say you guys. I should just say like bands that maybe have like a more straight edge following or whatever. Like, does that come into?
I've never had. I mean, there's been bars that have named drinks after us. Like, I've never had any. I mean, for the most part, like, our crowd is 20 to 25 for the most part, I'd say. And I've never even thought of it. So no, I'd say it's never been any kind of issue.
And a lot of the people that obviously listen to our music, they're not straight edge.
Yeah,
true.
And we also it's rare we ever go on the road and don't play with other bands too.
Mm-hmm. Right, so, like the whole bill on this tour that we're on right now.
No, not straight edge.
There's like
a couple.
There's dudes
Matt,
on the package.
Matt and Andrew.
Yeah, and it's like, they're not straight edge bands or anything like that. I don't even think we've had straight edge locals or anything like that. So.
Yeah,
I've never had an issue with that in the past with any of the bands I've been in.
I was just curious because obviously like some tour packages or when a show is booked, there's like a split, or the bar may charge less for the tour package because they're going to get like increased alcohol sales or this, that, the other. It was just something I thought about on the business end because it's something I never even, thought to myself was an issue.
I feel like it may be even one of those things where if we're coming to a city, I feel like if a promoter knows their shit, chances are they're probably going to try to find somewhere other than a bar to put us.
Right.
Just because of that fact.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever heard of a bar not taking us. I mean, because
I should say bar. I mean, it's like
but like in
tonight,
those,
it's not the venue that
99% of the venues that we play are bars.
Yeah, that's how it
if
you're going to have hardcore bands, you're probably not making money off the hardcore band, like realistically.
Yeah, and that's
like that's the bar is what keeps a venue going, unfortunately. But
and that was my rationale for that, because if the venue's not making money, then what's to say that they stop booking those kinds of shows or whatever, and then it's just something I never really thought about, but it is interesting to kind of discuss with people because it's like one of those things where you don't necessarily want to chastise that demographic, but yet they don't really benefit. There's no benefit to them being there.
I feel like, but at the same time, if you have a bar but you're willing to have all ages shows, then you already know what you're doing,
right? Yeah.
So,
and a lot of bars have that upcharge for underage.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So they don't lose profit
$10
on heads that walk
if
through
you're
the
of
door.
age 12 to 14 if you're under, something like that.
Yeah. How often are you guys on the road? Is it like a almost full-time thing for you guys? I mean, now you have the release out, so obviously you're going to be hitting it a little harder, but like prior to the release, like are you hitting the road a lot?
We would do like 2 to 3 like 40-day tours a year. Mm-hmm. Right now we're on the longest one the band's ever been. This one's like a little over, I think it's like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So we started on February 6th and we'll be out till March 27th. So I'd say roughly in the ballpark of 100 plus days a year.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have like side gigs that you guys obviously do when you're back at the house?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I work I work at a restaurant back home, and then manage some Airbnb properties. Austin, our guitarist, works at 2 restaurants back home, and then Shiloh, our bassist, is now like a full-time merch guy.
Like Prince merch or?
No, he does merch
on
for Spring.
On the road.
He's actually the TM for this tour.
He's full-time on the road.
Yeah, he's on the road.
That is his job now.
A lot.
How does that work? Did he just get a phone call and then he like goes somewhere and meets up with the band and just goes out with them?
It all started because we did a headliner with Spite in 2018, and he just got to know the guys really well, and I think he just told them, hey, I'm interested in getting into this if you ever need somebody, and gave him a call, and it worked out. He's great at his job, and you get in good with a band that sells a lot, and they're going to tell their friends who need some help, and the cycle repeats, and you get more offers. Yeah. So
I always thought it was very weird that started becoming a thing where like they'd have like merch people for same merch guy, but for different bands.
Mm-hmm. It's a career for some people. I've got some friends that make like really good money just being a merch guy.
I don't know how they would make money, but I don't know
it's
how
a full-time job out there. I
mean,
like when you're moving that much product and handling money, and the bands have to do their shit throughout the show, and they don't want to. A band like that size doesn't want to fuck with merch. They don't want to do that. It's they have enough on their plate. They gotta do sound check. They gotta warm up. They gotta do all this other bullshit. Load in, load out. So when you get some guy who's like, "Hey, I'll handle it," and they're like, well, shit, then you start getting paid and making tips and stuff, and you're like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, it's a job.
Other bands.
Yeah,
go out and do whatever.
Yeah, it's a thing. I have a buddy of mine who's in the services, and he's been in services for like 14 years, and he's getting out relatively soon. So he's like wondering what to do and this or the other. Not saying he's going to be a tour manager or anything like that, but I was like, man, you haven't hit the job market in like, almost 2 decades. I was like, it is completely different out here now. I was like, anything's a job. And it's weird, that all these little jobs pop up and people like make careers off of them. But
anything is a job.
For the most part, yeah, because you can get money on the internet for doing anything.
Oh yeah,
especially if you have a fans only account.
Yeah, it's crazy shit, man. There's always a buyer.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's the content. You just have to have the proper content for anything, not just fans only. Yeah. Well, Dealer's record label manager or the Franz has.
Are we really going to talk about Franz's OnlyFans account right now?
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. He may be at the show tonight. I was talking to him earlier. I can't wait to have him back on. He was the first guy we ever had on the podcast, which was very interesting because like I had no idea about him personally, and I only knew about Attila, and I'm not like the biggest fan, unfortunately, but he was super interesting, and I would love to catch up with him now to talk about his fans only account or whatever's happened in the last year for him as well. But that'd be interesting, I think, because he's done some wild ass shit.
Yeah, good content.
Yeah, great. That's what sells,
If you don't follow him on Twitter, it is crazy sometimes for sure. But anyway, yeah, he was talking about Dealer the last time he was here, and then lo and behold, they are here now in America. I think for the first time or something. So
yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah,
they smash. It's a good band.
Yeah, they are.
They just had a record out too. But let's get back to your record.
Okay.
Is there anything different between this record and the last record? Because obviously, like you were saying, you guys were writing songs and you were like, hey, let's kind of scratch this whole vibe. And was it like a complete pivot?
I would say, stepping from the old material into Sounds of Loss, which was the first LP, was already a big jump to where we sounded like a hardcore band that really wanted to be a nu metal band. And on this record, we took the risks that we executed on the first one and, instead of just dipping our toes in the water, like actually dove into it. So it's a lot more in the direction that we were interested in. It's a bigger push. It's a progression. That's the best way to put it. It's really the only.
It's just deeper.
Yeah. When I think about the new album following the first, it's kind of the only direction that made sense. So
it just felt more natural.
Yeah, I think we definitely found a lot of comfort knowing that. Because we literally, when we wrote Sounds of Loss, we were like, if this doesn't do well, we'll just break up because I'm tired of grinding for this bullshit. Yeah, no, really, that was. And lo and behold, people liked it, and it kind of caught a second wind at some point. And like that record's, that is the album that opened a lot of doors for us. To the
Sounds
point,
of Loss?
Yeah, where when people are like, I didn't really listen to you guys before Sounds of Loss, I'm like, oh, fucking thank God.
Yeah.
Like,
don't.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So going forward, it's just, we got a lot more, like I said, a lot more comfortable because the risks we took paid off. And so we're kind of like, well, I think people expect us to get even weirder, so let's give the people what they want. And that's where the new record
I knew that door was going to open. I felt it. Hey, okay. Well, thanks, Barrett. My man's, that's Barry. The local guy around here.
Oh, yeah. The local guy.
Yeah, he kind of not runs it, but he maintains this lovely piece of property.
Talk to Barry.
Barry's the man.
All right. Noted. Don't do... Okay.
Anyway.
Barry is here in case you...
He's always here.
He's present accounted for.
Yeah, he can make you something out of wood if you want to. But, damn, he ruined my train of thought. Anyway, so when did you get into, like, the hardcore scene? And or when I say hardcore, I mean, like, heavier music or whatever. What were you listening to prior? Like, what are your influences before you got into the band? Mariah Carey?
As in, like, going all the way back, like, my parents were in the country music industry.
Well, yeah, you guys are... You're in Tennessee. Are you from there?
Nashville, yeah. Born and raised.
So, you're indoctrinated.
Straight up. My dad was head of A&R for Atlantic Records in the early 90s.
That's something that we were looking up. Yep.
He did a lot of stuff with that. My grandfather moved to Nashville, well, I don't know when, way before, I think way before my mom was even born. And, started, establishing himself as a songwriter or publisher or producer, all that kind of stuff. And so I grew up in a household that was constantly, surrounded by country music, even to the point of like I would hang out with my dad while he played demos of like Tim McGraw's new album. And he's like, oh, we need to fix this and this, like figuring out mixes. Mm-hmm. So that's what I grew up listening to. And then somewhere down the line, Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out and everything changed.
Just fucked it all up.
Yep. Just pissed my parents. No, but
were they hoping you'd be a country music star?
I don't think they cared really. Like obviously if I learned how to play guitar and sang with a twang, they'd be fine with it. But it was one of those things where my brother and sister, if they hear this, I love you, have really no musical talent. And
zing.
Yeah, my brother's plays harmonica really well, and my sister's gotten pretty good at singing. But younger days didn't really have any interest in it. Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that I took a musical interest just excited them, so they didn't understand. Like I said earlier, they thought it was definitely a phase type thing.
Devil music.
It's cool to have them come to our shows years and years later and see us play like sold out shows and things. I'm like, hey, it wasn't just a waste of time. I promise. Like,
a lot of it was, but
there was years where what was I doing? But I think the first time I heard genuinely like heavy music that like made me like, oh, this is sick, was like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack was cool.
There wasn't even that much heavy stuff.
There was like Rage Against the Machine, and like there was that Anthrax Public Enemy song, and like Goldfinger was on there, and so there was a lot of that. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 was the first time I heard System of a Down. That changed my life. But before that was Hybrid Theory.
Oh yeah,
my neighbor played Hybrid Theory in the car with my mom, and I heard about 45 seconds of Paper Cut, and then she turned it off and said it sounded like prison music, and eventually she caved in because she read the lyrics and realized they didn't say fuck a bunch, and and it was on the radio, and the end was like a hit song, so like she was singing along to that. So
I think a lot of moms were banging in the end.
Oh yeah,
they love that shit.
Oh yeah,
they were.
And then Numb came on, Breaking the Habit,
to the end.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I mean that's really what pushed me into heavy music. So
it's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's I think the first alternative CD I ever bought was The Young and the Hopeless from Good Charlotte.
Sick.
And we're gonna call that alternative? I'm just kidding.
I like not.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I guess technically at the time that was on the radio too. You know,
it was, they're MTV. They're a big MTV band, right?
Oh yeah. Girls don't like boys. Girls like cars and money. Yeah. That was there.
I feel like, and again, I could just be talking on my ass because I'm whatever. But I remember them being on TRL, and at the time I was like, "Wow, this is so cool that this kind of music is being like, broadcasted, nationally." But then, like even the Used, I always thought there was something weird about the Used, and then like they were working with producer from, I think Goldfinger, right?
Yeah, John Feldy does his hand in fucking everything.
Well, obviously, he's producing them, so he's probably making it sound some which way. You know what I mean? Like I kind of wonder, because Good Charlotte didn't sound like Good Charlotte on MTV when they first started. So I wonder like when did they like pivot to that and be like, we're gonna do this, and then it became like the biggest thing for them and the Used.
Yeah, I mean what's the singer of Good Charlotte's name? I almost said John Madden, but it's not. I think his last name's Madden though.
Madden,
right?
Yeah. Is it Benji?
I don't know. Singer of Good Charlotte's on like a Goldfinger song.
Yeah.
Like he's on January, I think it's called. But yeah, I mean that was the first like not what my parents listened to album I bought, and then from there I just had to get the lyrics approved through my mom, because she would read it on the internet was a thing then. She could go on and figure out what they were saying, and then she'd be like, oh, you can listen to this. And eventually I figured out that I could change the names of songs and bands on my iTunes, and that's when I started downloading Slipknot and all that.
Yep.
And
it's DC talk, Mom. Chill out.
Yeah, right?
Do you guys, are you guys, it sounds like you kind of come from a religious background? Or
I'm from the Bible Belt, so yeah.
I mean, yes, we're all living here. So is that something, do you carry that with you still?
No.
Okay.
I mean, believe in higher power, all that kind of stuff, but I don't follow any particular religion by any means. So,
was it you think it was a drawback or a positive that, and again, I'm using this as a blanket term, that your mom like was kind of sheltering you from music?
I don't think she was necessarily sheltering me from music more so than she was just like. Actually, maybe that is what it is. I don't know. Maybe I've been in denial. But it didn't hurt because she at least gave me the opportunity to find certain music, and that's I think when I think of sheltering, I think of somebody. Oh, they're yelling. You're not gonna fucking.
Yeah, no. I mean, just like
the fact
checking the lyrics and stuff like that.
She was just making sure that it wasn't gonna be a negative influence, and I don't. Yeah, maybe that helped me out.
I think that was just like a lot of parents back in the day, like, oh, the parental advisory sticker on there.
Right.
Like, oh, you got to get the censored version and you can have it.
Walmart only.
Yeah. My mom did that when I was growing up until I was like 11. Then she's like, all right, fuck it. Like, it's cool. Like,
yeah,
you're fine.
The weird part for me is like my parents were younger too. They were like 22, 23 when I was born. So by the time I was like of age to kind of like start feeling the world out myself, they were like 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd have a 13-year-old if I was born the same time my dad was, and I can't even fathom that because I have no kids. So, but I don't think I was ever really like watched closely as far as like what I was intaking as far as like TV or music goes. I always thought that was cool, but I also got exposed to a bunch of weird internet shit at a young age when like my dad didn't have a filter on the computer or anything, and we never did. But geez, if he knew what I was fucking like stumbling upon,
now you work at Lambgoat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Nothing phases me now. But one of the first like CDs I got was like Doggy Styles from Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
So,
man, yeah, no baby steps there.
That's sick, dude.
Age 10 to 11, I was already thugging it out.
Did you ever ask what it meant? Did you just assume it was like, oh, it's Snoop Doggy Style? Or did you like ever like,
I didn't.
What is this?
I never really picked up on like the title. No, but like when they were talking about like smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, in my head I'm like, I know Indo is probably some kind of drug, and now I fully know what it is. Obviously,
like, yeah.
I was like gin and juice. I was like juice. Yeah, I'm like, what kind of juice?
What kind of juice is juice? What is?
Why is he saying about juice?
Yeah,
I didn't know what gin was or anything. Murder was the case. All that weird shit. But yeah. So did you guys like? Obviously, came up in the nu metal, like you were nu metal guys, and then you transferred over to kind of like more or less scene music.
Yeah, I think.
Do you think a lot of people do that?
I can't. It's one of those things where when I think of like nu metal shows, I definitely don't think of younger people being there.
No,
right.
And so I feel like it's one of those things where, especially at that time, nu metal was a big enough genre that they could afford to play venues that are 21 plus, 18 plus, and so on and so forth. And the main reason I heard about shows was because of my friends at school, and there was a venue in Nashville that I think they have one in Florida called Rocket Town, and
I know
it's a Michael W. Smith founded or whatever, and they had a skate park in Nashville called 6th Ave, and I would go skate there all the time.
Is it incorporated together, right? Or they're close by each other?
It's the same building. They own it. Yeah.
So I remember hearing about it like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, it used to be the biggest venue for alternative music in Nashville. Cool. If there was a show worth going to, it was probably at Rocket Town. Mm-hmm. And so I heard a lot about shows through that, and starting to go to shows there and being there all the time. I really connected with the staff there, became friends with them, and that's where all the shows that I heard about were at. So the nu metal stuff, I mean, I didn't see Korn until last fall for the first time.
Well, I've never seen them either, and that's that's on the list.
Yeah, but, that's one of those things where not only that, but I don't think that some of my favorite bands like didn't really come to Nashville, too.
Yeah, it's a weird vibe.
Nashville's a hard sell because it is Music City. You can go door to door to door and see insane musical talent everywhere. So like it's kind of a hard sell because we're spoiled. There's something to see every night. So I feel like for a genre like that, especially, that was the time that like country music was really starting to become like a pop thing.
Right.
And so it was an even harder sell. And because of the venues that were around, I don't think there was really anything for them to go to. So yeah, I think the reason I was always a nu metal fan, but I didn't ever see any of it because the only thing that was easily available to a kid who had to get a ride from his parents was Rocketown.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was, I'd say that's probably what really pushed me into that. Was I enjoyed it being heavy, I enjoyed the energy, and it was what was there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what did it.
It was one of those, because I mean, I came from like just listening to the radio, you know what I mean, or whatever, and then the internet. I had the internet for a little while, like AOL type shit, and then we would get like, high speed internet shortly after that.
Yeah.
And then I started finding like my own music, and again, unfiltered internet. I was going all over the place, so I found like nu metal type bands, and I started gravitating more towards that. Obviously, we had Limp Bizkit here.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you did.
yeah, that's like one of my guiltiest pleasures of all time.
No, fuck that. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
You know what's weird about that? I was going to bring this up too. I was trying to find a place to do that. I'm so glad that I don't know what's going on. What the change was. It's probably like the internet and just internet shaming people and making people like more conscious, I guess. Like more woke in general. But I'm all about, like I was saying earlier, the nu metal revival in hardcore because like I grew up on nu metal, but at the time when I transitioned from like nu metal, like Korn, Slipknot, Linkin Park, all that shit.
Oh, dude, you definitely didn't tell anybody about it.
No, you weren't saying like I still listen.
You could say Linkin Park. You
Not even when
really.
Slipknot was barely. Slipknot was barely one that you could kind of like have a shirt at a hardcore show or something like that, and you could be like, "Why is he wearing a Slipknot shirt?"
I had friends who didn't know that Slipknot like yelled in their songs. He was like, "Wait, they don't just sing the whole time?" I'm like, "No, it's not fucking Disturbed. Like it's crazy." Like
but I'm glad now that because like even the genre itself, nu metal, is becoming a big thing again. Like there's a revival of that, not just within the hardcore scene, but everything's so much more accepted now.
Yeah.
And so you can like everything publicly and out like you normally would, but like, I like left nu metal behind because it wasn't just cool with the kids that I was hanging with or the scene that I was with. So it's pretty cool that that's a thing now.
I think a lot of that has to do with the older, and I could be completely wrong with this, but the way that I perceived it is that the older half of the hardcore scene clowned on this stuff. Yeah. So the younger half, to be able to go to the shows where the older half was keeping, holding it over, had to adapt.
You had to
and
wear
now,
the cool T-shirts, man.
Yeah, exactly. And now that the younger generation is becoming the older half of it, they're like, fuck it, like what you like,
Well, and I think a lot of, like I am older, but I'm not, like, part of the older, like, elitist group. I grew up in fucking nu metal, so, like, I'm here for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, one of the best bad bands in the world is Mushroomhead.
Oh, I see. I'm not into that.
This dude, I swear, almost every night drive, I'll be like I'll be in the front seat, like kind of drifting off, and I hear some kind of eminence. Just like I'm like, oh well, here we go.
Dude, I'm from Ohio, man.
I always felt
it's
like
real, man,
because I was into Slipknot. You know what I mean? And then I was like, who's this other band
with fucking masks?
And
17 members? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who are these guys biting the
guys?
style? And you're like, oh, these are fucking losers from Ohio. But yeah, I've always liked that band. I don't give a fuck.
I straight up, because I remember when they came out, I was like, not going to be around for long. And then here we are.
And here they are,
and they're
still
all right,
doing
let's
their
be
thing.
real. I think they've been around for a little too long at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if any of them will hear me, but like,
hang it up.
Hey.
Hang it up unless you want to let us play.
Yeah, hang it up or take us on tour.
Yeah, one of the two. You can't have it in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your ideal tour package?
Like dream tour package or realistic?
Both. Give me
Dream
both. Give me the
tour.
realistic first. Give me the
realistic. I just want to tour with Every Time I Die.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck who else is on the tour. Every Time I Die is on it. Yep. Catch me backstage, front row, in the pit. I don't care. I just want to tour with Every Time I Die. That's like
that.
Yep.
in this realm of heavy music, favorite band.
Is that you too?
So, yeah. Yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and those dudes. I mean, I've been watching them
rips.
for fucking ever, since fucking Jimmy Tango's Method. And
oh
shit.
man, I mean, there's.
They don't make a bad album.
No, exactly.
No.
That's even the biggest bands in the world. There's an album where people are like, "Oh, I don't really fuck with that." If you don't fuck with a certain Every Time I Die record, it just means you're wrong.
I probably didn't fuck with it probably because like if I didn't fuck with an album that they came out, it's more so going to be in their later of their later into their discography.
You're still wrong.
And only because I just didn't listen to it.
Okay,
You
well
know what I
that's
mean? So once you
just
start listening to it,
ignorance.
you're like, oh, yeah.
I will
These
say-
3 songs. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
These 6, 7, 8. And then you're like, I like the whole thing.
Every Time I Die is a weird enough band that, I mean, I've got them fucking tattooed on my arm,
Yeah.
but like every new record, I go through it and I'm like, man, I don't know. Then I go through it again, I'm like, okay, maybe. And by like the 4th time through, I'm like, this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that just every new record they reach for some new star and somehow grab it, and it just takes you a minute to realize what they're grabbing at. But the moment it's recognized, you're like, wow, this is like, I don't even know what number was Low Teens is 8, the 8th LP.
yeah, some
they're 8
crazy
LPs
shit
deep,
like
and
that.
that's my favorite Every Time I Die record.
Is it?
I mean, it just
I think that's the best record that band.
I mean, New Junk Aesthetic's probably
written.
the one that I've attached to the most. But every new record they put out, I'm like, it sucks because I don't want to listen to anything before this now. Like, they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
So that's the most realistically. Every Time I Die would be top of the list for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, some of it's nostalgia for me, but Hot Damn's
Yeah.
the one for me.
they're about to do a
20 or 15.
They
40,
might have already
45-year
it was
anniversary
like
of that
either a
record.
show
Yeah.
They did a couple
or
shows
some
where they
shit.
did,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So give me the dream package.
again,
Mushroomhead?
one band, System of a Down. Yeah, System of a
Well,
Down's
that may
favorite
take a while.
band. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, but that's
I mean, my top 3 would be. I don't think I could choose, but Korn, Slipknot, Gojira. I mean, those bands.
I mean, you
are
guys could technically get with Gojira.
massive. I don't know, man. That band is
they're pretty.
that is
goddamn
one of
big.
the biggest current like active this generation bands that
They're one of
is
those bands
just-
that's still on the build. They're huge and they're
Right.
still getting bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that band is one of the heaviest bands I've ever seen in my life. Like, I saw they play the same day as one of my favorite bands, Lamb of God, at Sonic Temple in Columbus, and I was like, this is the heaviest band of the whole.
To say that
Of the
you
whole
see Lamb of
weekend.
God and then Gojira's heavier is a
Right, and I've seen Lamb of God a lot of
Testament.
times, and I've seen Gojira a few, and it's just like they smoke all these other big-ass metal bands right
Yeah.
now.
it's just
The
a
one
force.
band that can keep up is Meshuggah,
Yeah.
and that's a different
That's I would
story.
throw them in the mix too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen Gojira live. That's
I haven't
one-
seen them live yet
Dude,
either. I've
you-
watched countless videos.
You need
but-
to catch them. Like, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to. We're actually running a lot later than I thought we would, but that's a good thing, guys.
This
Natural-
happens every time I do a podcast.
Natural
It goes
conversation, just
way too
hey,
long.
we're over the allotted time that I was thinking. But let's get to these. We'll do these like really quick answers. You don't have to like, elaborate too much on them, but these are the ones from the Instagram. All right, this one is. You'll know it, but we don't have a guitar player here. 6 strings, 7 strings, or 8 strings?
9.
9.
Preferably 9.
9.
Nice. Dual stock, dual stock.
Yeah.
nine? Sick. Do you guys know who Galatizia is?
Can you? What?
Galatizia.
No.
No.
Should we?
As in a band? Or a
We should
person?
just put that out
or-
there in the universe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're Galtazia, slide in our DMs.
No.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we don't
No.
know. Still straight edge. We've already established
Still
that.
straight
Yes.
edge.
White or brown gravy.
If it's well seasoned, I can do white, but brown's my ticket usually.
You can put brown gravy on
Brown.
biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
on biscuits? Excuse me? No. White
Yeah,
gravy.
that's crazy.
I
White
can do
gravy.
both, but I'm just saying brown
You're out-
gravy
you're out
tastes
there,
good.
man. They're out there.
Doesn't matter.
Favorite music to listen to while on tour outside of Mushroomhead every night.
Ooh, for me, not heavy music.
Straight up. You love the goddamn jam rock.
Dude,
You listen to a song that takes us
We're
on a
gonna-
drive.
we're gonna Fish guy?
Dude, Elder,
They just came out with
Brother
some new
Hawk,
stuff.
Brother Hawk. They're from Atlanta, I think. So if you haven't listened to Brother Hawk, do that.
I love D'Angelo and Daniel Caesar, and then pop artists like Lord.
Okay.
So
It's like R&B and
R&B
pop.
and pop, yeah.
That's so crazy when, you get in the nitty-gritty with these guys, with bands in general.
Oh, our bassist is a K-pop,
J-pop.
connoisseur.
I don't understand it.
Dude,
I didn't.
crazy.
It's
And
our
if
like
you go on
fourth
Twitter,
tour.
on Twitter it's fucking nuts
It's
with the
incredible.
K-pop people. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
I didn't get it because he doesn't speak the language, but like I didn't get it at first because when you don't listen to it for like the musical content, it just sounds like somebody's just blaring a busy city in your ears.
Yeah.
But like as I've started listening, I'm like the musicians that play that shit, whole different level.
Yeah.
It is insane.
A lot of that stuff that comes out, I mean, it's kind of like anime-ish music to me, and I remember I'm not a big anime fan, but like it reminds me of that. But also, you know, what's weird about music that comes from that side of the world, like baby metal and all those other kind of artists that are just like huge that come out of Japan or whatever, Korea. I'm like, man, this stuff is like, and I could be completely wrong, but to me it seems like super produced. Like that's like baby metal. I don't think
to my knowledge, they are artists, and I could be wrong in this. This is just what Shiloh has told me is that a lot of artists are literally hired for their voice by corporations that then write their music for them.
Right.
So it is exactly a production.
And the
and
video
they are just
production
the face of the production.
have you watched like those music
Yeah, I mean,
videos?
everything, and not K-pop wise, but like bands like baby metal and stuff like that. When that first came out, I was like, something's fucking strange about that. And I was like, I don't see like, and again, I could be. There's like, are there dudes in the band? They have like metal dudes in the band, right? Or are they just all women?
I don't know much about baby
I don't know
metal.
much about them.
I think it might be. I could be wrong.
I think that the musicians might be.
Dudes?
I think they're masked.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows? I felt like because they're fronted by at least one or more women. I haven't watched.
Yeah,
them
I think it's
forever,
3 girls that do it.
But I'm like, there's no way that they're like,
We're going to be a metal band.
yeah, writing metal music in their house or in their place or anything like that. So, all right. Well, like I was saying, we're running longer than I thought. So, yeah, we'll just wrap it up here. Check out your new album, obviously. I'm blanking on the title.
Let it take its course.
Let It Take Its Course. That just came out. You guys have vinyl for sale. You guys have all this other stuff.
At the table, please buy it.
Please, for the love of
Jesus
God, buy a
Christ.
record.
Please
Shit.
buy it. Stream it.
Yeah.
Tell grandma.
Do you want to do like Justin Bieber and just tell everyone to stream it on very low for like days and days and days?
Does he do?
That's what he did for his new record, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's...
He got a lot of flack for that, and he still didn't make number one.
Whatever.
Well, we're close to number 1, so if you guys could give us that extra bump,
Little boost. We're number 3-ish.
we're great.
Yeah.
Just try it.
But yeah, anything,
we swear.
any last kind of like shout out words or any like, you know, little nuggets you want to drop on the audience to better help you guys gain fans or just seem cool?
Oh, to seem cool. Jeez.
You have
What
to
you
seem
got?
cool.
Stop trying to seem cool.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Listen to our band because
Damn.
we're not cool.
I-
and it'll be cool if you listen to it.
That was way deeper than I thought we were going to get.
That's all right.
I'm
I'll
not
take it
following
there.
that.
I don't. I'm not
Yeah, don't
scared
be
of these
cool.
people listening to this.
We're all fucking idiots. You're
Hit
one,
the
you're one
comments
too.
with the
Yeah.
troll. Hit the comment section for the trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and yeah, check out Orthodox. They're on tour currently now with Spite and Barrels and a couple other bands. Dealer, I am,
and
I
Dealer.
am.
and is that just your? Are you on that tour with just those three? Or are you
Oh
on
no,
the-
we're just making sure you say I am.
Oh, yeah,
'cause that
yeah,
thing
yeah.
I
Fucking
am.
rules.
Yeah, no, yeah. I got
And
I know
Unity
those on
from
there.
Texas. They were on the tour.
And they kick
Unity,
ass.
Unity TX.
Yeah, they
You'll be seeing
were
them
relatively kind of
headline and
Yeah.
rap.
Listen to
hip-hop
that band
things
as
for
well.
Too long.
All right, you heard it here first. Listen to all of them, and I thank you guys for joining us once again, Adam and Mike. So we'll catch you around later. We'll catch you around later.
We'll get there.
Late tour.